Hello and welcome to our studio show here, round 6 of the FIM Motocross World Championship MXGP. We're at Talavera de la Reina in Spain, and my guests this week, Max Anstie, Evgeny Bobryshev, Antti Pyrhönen, and of course, as always, as seems to be the case this year, Adam Wheeler from OnTrackOffroad.com. And before we start with the programme, Adam, 2 weeks ago, the Grand Prix of Europe in Valkenswaard, that Grand Prix had everything, didn't it, specifically in the MXG category?
Yeah, absolutely, Paul. And now we have a complete contrast. We've come to Spain. We've got better temperatures, better weather, hard pack. You couldn't get more of a contrast than the sand we had in the Netherlands 2 weeks ago. Big news this weekend. You know, Ryan Villopoto not missing out on his second Grand Prix of the season. Still struggling with the fractured coccyx. Actually back in the United States as well now, so getting some treatment. Hopefully he'll be back soon. And Tony Cairoli using a different bike this weekend. Riding a 450, and we can talk a bit about that later on in the show. But as far as the GP itself, Honda were back on pace. A double moto win for Gauthier Paulin. His teammate Bobryshev, who will be on the show a little bit later on, was just off the podium in 4th place as well. So, you know, those guys are really getting up to speed. Max Nagel is a new championship leader. So it makes this Grand Prix even more exciting, doesn't it? Because only 5 points between the top two. Tony is, what, about 36 off the lead at the moment, or not that far off. But and we're on round 6, and we've had 3 different winners in MXGP so far. So it's, will we see another one? You know, will Tony Cairoli use that? I mean, he was fastest in the first free practice this morning we've had. So will that extra, you know, 100cc deliver the victory that he's craving? Well, we will talk about that, like I said, a little bit later on in the show. But before we bring in our first guest, Max Anstie, let's have a look what happened in Valkenswaard in MX2. Here's some of the race highlights. Jeffrey Hurlings. It was business as usual for the Dutchman.
The gate dropped and away they went as Jeffrey Hurlings in white and gold this weekend in his home race. But to the outside, Ben Watson and Tim Geiser took an early bath as they were launched into the infield pond at turn 1. On board with Valentin Guyot as he was passed there by the 189, the fast starting Brian Borgers. Valentin Guyot working his way down towards 8, but number 41, Pauls Jonas, having 1 or 2 moments of his own. He was lucky to get away with that little misdemeanor, but he wasn't so lucky towards the end of the lap. Got it completely wrong through the rhythm section, and his KTM tossed him aside like a rag doll. He wouldn't rejoin the race. Valentin Guyot went through though as he charged his way up into 7th place, whilst Jordi Tixier, number 1, and Max Anstie, 99, battled over 2nd and 3rd. 51, Jens Getterman on the JTEC Honda was having a great ride as well. Eventually he came home in 12th place. But Guyot on the standing construct Yamaha, looking at picking up one of his best rides of the year. The Kawasaki's were coming under pressure from Tonkov, who was fast starting as Max Anstie's Kawasaki started to smoke in the closing stages of the race. Undeterred though, he continued to go after Jordi Tixier, and eventually, with a handful of laps remaining, the Brit was through and into 2nd place, but Jeffrey Hurlings was already too far down the track to do anything about it. Valentin Guyot got it all wrong though, with 3 laps to go. He crashed from 7th, remounted, finished in 11th place. 84, Jeffrey Hurlings, the Bullet, was in a class of his own once again and went on to win race 1.
So highlights then from Valkenswaard 2 weeks ago, and one of those riders that featured in the results, particularly in the first race, Max Anstie, the Monster Energy DRT Kawasaki rider, joins me now, and of course Adam Wheeler as well. Max, 11th in the championship standings at the moment, not where you want to be, not where you expected to be. It was quite a tough opening round for you in Qatar, wasn't it? Take us back to that second race.
Yeah, I mean, before that, the transition from the Yamaha with the team, you know, to the Kawasaki went smoothly, and we had a good off season. And coming in, we were very strong, but it just, yeah, Qatar just didn't seem to go our way. On the Friday race, actually, I ended up hitting Gilliard. I think his bike stopped, and a foot peg went through my boot. So I ended up like having to have stitches in the bottom of my foot, and then I was like, all right, no worries, that's the way it goes, whatever. And then the next day, obviously, we came out strong and was, you know, in a podium position in that race, and I don't know, just going up the ramp, I just lost all drive and ended up just going straight over the handlebars. So it didn't obviously end too well. But to be honest, probably the way that it went, probably the best that it could have, because you know I was able to walk away. I was a bit beat up the next week, obviously, and had to sit out Thailand. But the goal was, you know, to come back and just be consistent and be solid and
just remind us again what the injury was and how long did it take? Because you missed the next round in Thailand, didn't you?
Yeah, it was supraspinatus, so something in my shoulder, basically. Just I was really lucky with the Aspetar hospital there in Qatar. So it was my shoulder, and then my foot just took ages because I then had to have the stitches. I tried riding before the British round in Hilton, the first British Championship, and then got an infection in my foot. So it just didn't seem to go the way we wanted. But you know that's the way it goes. And like I said, the team we all work hard and we all want the same thing. And consistency is key in this game. So that's the goal from here on out anyway.
Max, looking at that crash, it looks particularly gnarly on the video. I mean, is that the sort of thing you can watch back, or is it something you kind of think, well, you know, I just don't want to, I lived it through, I don't want to see it?
To be honest, it was my first big crash in a while because, like, you know, when you get to this level, you don't see many of the Grand Prix guys really have a massive crash through making their own mistakes or something like that, because most of them are all you're all pretty good and pretty solid. And I was in the air and I was thinking, oh, this one's going to work now. But you know, I've been working really hard with my training, with my physical trainer Kev back in the UK, and to be honest, just the years of being solid and consistent have kept me strong, and I bounced pretty well. So yes, that was a good thing.
Unfortunately, you did miss Thailand, but when you did come back in Argentina, you bounced back pretty well, didn't you? Third in the first moto.
Straight off to a third, which was solid, which was where we wanted to be, and then yeah, second moto again, something random and weird that I've never actually done before. I've never hit the gate, so it was just I thought something moved, and a load of guys hit the gate in Argentina, so it was a weird one, but. Yeah, no, not the way we wanted to start the overseas. As you know, last year we were so strong with the overseas on the Yamaha with the Dixon team. So, but you know, I guess it's a learning curve for all of us and for the bike and for the team. And now coming back, we've been pretty solid with Italy. A couple of good results. That's all I wanted really. And then Valkenswaard again, we're in a good position. So, just
how are you settling on the Kawasaki? You're pretty much up to speed in terms of testing, and you feel you've got a decent package underneath you.
Yes. I know Steve always wants to improve and wants to make gains. But to be fair, we've been settled. We haven't changed much, and it's just been a couple of little bits here and there. And I do think the chassis works really well, and the bike is solid. We had 3 solid motos at the British Championship. It's been really nice to race that championship too, because I can push the bike as hard as I can. The team, myself, we can all have a run out and just be consistent. And in that, yes, we have been consistent. And it was a shame at Valkenswaard, yes, that we had that problem in the second race. But it just seems to be the way that it's going. I do feel like we've all put in 100%, and you know, like I said, the goal is to be consistent now and just be solid and be in there.
Max, I mean, I think this is your 5th season in MX2 as a Grand Prix rider. I mean, you came in with a Kawasaki, and now you're back on a Kawasaki. I mean, you've bounced around a couple of other brands as well, got a lot of experience, you could say. You've still got 2 more years in the class, I think?
I've got this year and next year.
Right, okay. So, I mean, the momentum's with you now, isn't it? The experience, like you say, just getting that bike ready, and then you should be pushing on for GP wins. Last year was your first GP win in Lommel.
Exactly, yeah.
So, I don't know, it's kind of like you're arriving to the point, aren't you?
Exactly. I mean, I feel like, it's taken a while to get here, but I have been on a lot of different teams, a lot of different bikes, and I've learnt a lot with testing and setup and learning what I like and how to handle situations. I mean, we've been put in a lot of different situations, which you can say, okay, it's not been good or not, but to be honest, I feel like it's all been. I think it's all been good. It's just something that I've had to learn, and I feel like this situation that we're in, as Americans would say, I'm blessed.
Well, look, Max, we are almost out of time with you. A couple of weeks ago, Valkenswaard, I guess because of your sand riding expertise, some of us expected big things from you. We almost got it as an overall result. First race went pretty well for you, didn't it? We saw in the highlight clip there, but I know we have more footage. You had a great battle with Geordie Tixier, didn't you? You know, passed him just a few laps from the end.
Yeah, no, it was a really good, solid ride. We started around 5th or 6th, and it's just working on the first few laps really that you know, once I'm sat in there, it's okay, and I can just plug away because I know that I'm strong come the end of the race. But then again, you know, you say it's the sand thing, but then in Italy, you know, first race again, I found myself right with him at the end of the moto. So we've been working hard with the setup and with the bike, and I think, you know, like you said, Adam, I think it's all coming together now. And as long as I can have a little bit of consistency with each session, I want 6 solid sessions at the Grand Prix, practice, time training, race, just finish each one, be solid, be there, and I think it's all going to roll because, you know, we've done it at the British Championships, and it's just sort of rolling on from that, to be fair, and it's nice to get more time on the bike.
I mean, just quickly, Paul, as well, I think it's fairly common knowledge that, you know, Max, you're sort of one of the most sort of gifted and technical riders in the class, so there's kind of a feeling, especially with them British fans, that it's overdue, you know. We need some serial podium finishes and some victories.
Exactly,
no pressure.
Exactly. That. Wow. No, I don't feel any pressure. I just go out there and go as fast as I can. And you know, I've been racing, you know, Grand Prix long enough. You said that yourself. It's I'm here to do my job. Yeah, I'm here to get work done, and I'm here to go as fast as I can. I'm here to race. So that's it really. And I've got a good group of people. Ben, Geordie, the team. I'm pulling everyone together. They are working really well, and Steve's doing all the groundwork, and we're there. So it's now just consistency. That's the only bit that we were lacking a little bit, and that's what we're final bit of the puzzle that's just coming together.
Right, well, Max Anstie, Monster Energy DRT Kawasaki, thanks for joining us here this weekend. Wish you all the best. Obviously, British Grand Prix, Matterley Basin in a couple of weeks' time as well. Wish you all the best for that one. I know it's going to be a big weekend for you, but we are out of time with Max Anstie, unfortunately. Before we meet our next guest, though, let's catch up with some of the action from the MXGP Grand Prix at Valkenswaard 2 weeks ago. Gauthier Paulin really did paint the town red.
After his stunning performance in Moto number 1, all eyes were on Gauthier Paulin on the number 21 HRC Honda. But it was 461 Roman Fevre, Yamaha Factory Racing, who grabbed the foxhole shot. Bobryshev was second, Paulin third. But it wasn't long before Paulin was on the move once more. At the end of the first lap, found his way down the inside of the Russian, who just happened to be his teammate, and was into second position, going after Roman Fevre. The pace at the head of the field was just a little bit too hot for Fevre to handle, and he started to drop back. Eventually found himself in 5th place. Paulin went through, then it was Bobryshev, Nagel, Dessau, all queuing up behind the Frenchman. But he regrouped and was back on the pace, putting in some quick lap times in the second half of the moto. Max Nagel and Clement Dessau battled over second and third, as Tony Cairoli struggled with a hand injury picked up from race 1, struggling for feeling. Couldn't feel anything as Benson went out spectacularly on the 24 MX Honda. He crashed out of 8th place. At the same time, Max Nagel was up into second, and it wasn't long before Dessau moved into third, but he was lucky to escape that little moment. And this was the battle, not just in the race for second and third, but also at the top of the leaderboard. But Paulin came home to win in race 2, making it a perfect score. Nagel hung on for second ahead of Dessau, and they were second and third overall in the Grand Prix as well. But Nagel jumped to the top of the championship standings at round 5.
Evgeny Bobryshev joins us now from Team HRC. And Evgeny, what, 6 years now at Honda? This is your 6th year at Honda, and I think from my side, looking at the results over the past few years, this has probably been the most consistent start to a World Championship campaign that you've had since 2011, where you finished 4th in that World Championship. You're obviously feeling good about the way things are going at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. Like that was my goal, because the past years I had lots of injuries, crashes, and had lots of bad lucks. But now I try to put away everything and to make a consistent beginning and continuing like this, you know, to grow my confidence and race potential, you know, because after my injury I had 7 months off of good racing. So in the beginning it was difficult, but now I feel, you know, and then you can see that I'm growing by results and the speed and confidence at the races.
Obviously, you got a new teammate, Gauthier Paulin. We saw 2 weeks ago from that clip a moment ago. He took 2 race wins. He won the overall Grand Prix victory. Obviously, he was delighted. But how does that kind of, you know, what did that victory mean to you as a teammate to Gauthier Paulin? What did it mean to HRC as well as a team, and to get that victory so early on in the season?
Yeah, for sure. For all the HRC team, it's really it's big positive, because been working all together hard, you know, and haven't been already long time when HRC was on top of the podium, and for me it's, I'm happy for my teammate. He's a good guy, you know, we have a good relationship. So, but you know, like, as I won't just concentrate on my way of training and the way I doing. So, and I'm really hoping that I could bring my machine and also HRC on the top of the podium, you know, and really it's nice to, because we in Valkingswart I missed podium a bit by the same points, but it would be nice to see 2 HRC riders on the box, you know. That's something would be good if we can do this together.
Bobby, like, with respect, Honda brought Paulin in as a star signing, if you like, somebody they expected to go straight for the championship, and I think he actually signed the deal when you were still recovering from your broken leg last year. Did that help you in a way, because, you know, it was more pressure on him to get results straight away from Qatar, whereas for you it was okay, like, okay, I'm going to build back up into this, I'm going to get my confidence back, get a bit of my form back, and, you know, arrive back to being a podium guy in the Premier class. So did that kind of help you in a way?
Yeah, good question. I'm like, I'm not really feeling the pressure. I just, sometimes I put too much pressure on myself, but that's in the past, you know. But for sure now, when it's Gauthier, you know, like his teammate, he's a good rider, so I can learn something from him. And for sure, when you, I don't know how can I explain you, because it's not meaning that all the pressure what I had on my shoulders goes to him now. It's I still feeling responsible of my job to do, you know, and I doing my job as much as best I can, you know, for to the good result myself and for HRC team, and I don't really feel like you say any pressure at the moment, and before also so much.
Well, it was a steady start to the season, wasn't it? The results were okay, but by the time we got to Argentina, things started to click for you. 5th in race 1. You know, obviously, how did that make you feel as well? You know, knowing that you could run with the top guys.
Yeah, everything starts from Argentina. To be honest, I had a good time practice. I was 2nd, and yeah, after that, everything starts. You know, for sure, I believe a bit in myself more, and after, yeah, just to be honest, I was just struggling with the start. So I've been working on that weak point, and now it's getting better. So for sure, I know this. If I make good start, I'm up front.
How was the track there?
Yeah, nice. To be honest, it was good. Argentina.
Yeah,
it was good. And the place was, I don't know, one of the best place overseas. You know, like Glen Helen is one of the best for me, and Argentina, especially all the fans was over there, and it was crazy place and really beautiful.
You know, I think one of the things we appreciate you most about is you wear your heart on your sleeve. I talk about as the press and the fans, you know, when we see you on the podium or celebrating a good result, we can see how much it means to you. After, you know, the injury last year and stuff, getting back on the podium, spraying that champagne, getting the trophy, is that going to be kind of an emotional thing for you?
Yeah, for sure, but don't think that I will cry, you know, or something, but...
No, but you mentioned there's some vodka celebration a few years ago, I seem to remember, in Latvia.
Yeah, but...
it was water. It was water.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's end of the year, you know, that's for sure. If I'm happy when the season goes well and then good points, and for sure in the end of the year, for sure I will celebrate. But like when I get to the podiums, for sure it's emotional for me, but I want to keep it the same same line, you know, for get more and more like to the podiums and to be in the end of the year in the on the podium, you know, and then for sure that would be much more emotional for me than to get on the podium.
Well, you are getting closer to the podium, aren't you? 6th overall in Trentino, 4th overall in Valkenswaard, where again, as we said, the Hondas were on fire that weekend, weren't they? Tell us about, you know, your Valkenswaard experience this weekend, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I was. I like this track. First of all, it's really nice, and the ground was so good. The sand was nice, but for me it was really tough weekend because I compressed my back, and then all the weekend I had lots of problems, so I couldn't bend it so much. So every time when I'm moving on the bike, I could feel it, a lot of pain in the back. So I was taking some painkillers, but you know, and when the weekend I finished, I was really happy. I was recovering 4 days from my back injury, but the weekend went well. You know, no crashes, important. So and good results. Yeah.
But also good to see the two Hondas up there fighting for the top positions as well.
Yeah.
We are almost out of time though, Evgeny.
You like Gautier more, I see, huh?
No.
Think about him.
No, I don't. Can we end the program now?
We're going to make a cut there, yeah.
No. But coming into this weekend here in Talavera, Honda have the most victories. They have 4 wins. You or your teammate, I forget his name now, or maybe even Tim Geiser in MX2, you know, could make it 5 wins. How are you feeling this weekend in Spain?
It's good. First of all, it's I've been staying in Holland, so the weather wasn't so good. Always cold in the morning, and I had a not so good mood in the morning because of cloudy and cold. But now I get here and sunny, warm. Track is looking nice, and for sure I'm really looking forward for the race. You know, yeah. I'm feeling strong, and I feel good with the bike, with the team. So hoping to make a consistent weekend and move to another GP.
I remember you used to say you boil in your boots in the hot weather. Is that is that Bobby gone now? He's, you know, that kind of young kid.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. That's yeah. And now prepare more maybe.
We want to see some tears this weekend, huh?
Okay.
On the podium, some tears.
That's right.
Before we go though, obviously Matterley Basin in 2 weeks' time, the British Grand Prix. Have you sorted your visa out this year? I'm only joking. I'm sure everything is all in order.
First you call him Gautier Paul, and you remind him of his absence from last year's Grand Prix.
It's strange. Like I like this country, and I was a British champion, and did not apply my visa last year. So
you're almost a British citizen when you were there, huh? Almost.
Yeah.
Adopted son.
Yeah.
He's not going to come back on this show now, Paul.
No, he will. We will. When he gets his first podium, could be this weekend. Might have him on the show again in Matterley. But anyway, we are out of time with Evgeny Bobryshev, so Team HRC rider. Evgeny, thanks for joining us. But just stay there 1 second, because before we go any further and meet our next guest, it's competition time again, and a chance for you to win some fantastic prizes with our timing partner, Tag Heuer. Okay, so pay attention to this one, because it is a fantastic prize. It really is. To win a Tag Heuer vintage leather jacket, Tag Heuer sunglasses, a chronometer, Pocket Pro Circuit stopwatch, MXGP, the official video game, and a season pass for MXGP TV, which includes the FIM Monster Energy Motocross Nations. All you have to do is answer the following 2 questions correctly. How many rounds of MXGP are there in Asia this year? Is it A, 1 or B, 2? And in what year did Jack Heuer create the iconic tag Heuer Carrera? Was it 1953 or 1963? Submit your answer on our MXG Facebook page. For more information, go to mxgp.com. Remember, you have to be in it to win it, and those tag Heuer goodies and everything else could be making their way to you. Also, don't forget, though, MXGP TV is also offering 20% discount on our season pass, which also includes the FIM Monster Energy Motocross of Nations. Right, our final guest is in position, and he is a team manager for Red Bull, IceOne, Husqvarna Factory Racing, of course, talking Antti Pyrhönen. Antti, welcome here to Talavera. I guess the first word we'd use is wow, you know. It's really looking good for you guys this early in the season, isn't it? And I know it is still early in the season, but you are leading the championship.
Yeah, indeed, you know, it's especially after last year's struggle, you know, it's a big step we did, and especially with Max, you know, it's amazing for us, you know, that he won so many races, and we knew that he will do well, but really to win the races, you know, it's not always on our hands. So it's has been a great start.
Well, looking at the championship at the moment, you are 5 points clear, and we'll talk about your riders in a moment, Max and Todd, but. Obviously, this weekend, there's big news. Adam and I talked about it at the start of the program. Tony Cairoli, of course, riding this weekend on a 450. And I think we have some images of him from the free practice session here. I guess you can look at that as a compliment in a way that he's having to, as an 8-time world champion, look for another solution to try and get closer to the leaderboard in the World Championship. He was unlucky last week in the race when he lost points, or in Valkenswaard when he lost points in the first race. So the championship could have been closer, but it's quite a big. What are your thoughts on Tony having to ride, or feeling that he has to ride a 450 this weekend?
Yeah, first of all, you know, we all have a big respect for him. You know, he's a great champion and a great rider. But personally, I believe that sometimes a change, you know, even going from 350 to 450 might give a good boost, you know, and he has been a long time with the 350, which is a great bike. He has proven that, and just sometimes the change is good, you know. Some riders need to change time to time the team, and Tony did this time the bike change, you know, from 350 to 450. But overall, I think. Both bikes are competitive, and if the rider just have, you know, a little bit even extra belief or extra motivation, you know, that makes the change. And I believe, you know, like you told, the championship is still early. We are definitely with Max and with the team feet on the ground, and we work hard, you know, and it's not possible to win every race. So it's really like gonna be a big battle, and there is Cairoli involved, and Polan involved, and many guys. So we just need to hang in there and do our best.
Sorry if I cut across you here, Paul, with your questions, but Antti, you must have an idea of what you need to do to be a good team manager and make a good team. But the fact that Max Nagel in interviews is saying that this is the best team he's ridden for, and the work you're doing is responsible for 3 victories so far in the championship league, that must make you feel, I don't know, that everything is correct. It's like the ultimate proof, isn't it?
Definitely it is, you know, but it is like a combination of things. We are working hard, Max is working hard, and with him since the day one, you know, we had a very good click, you know, and connection, and I think we are quite similar type of persons, you know, overall, that we both want to do things seriously and really a bit of a perfectionist nature. So I think there was just both ways the click, and for the team, you know, for me, we just continued the same work we have done, and now it's just, you know, working better, and it's shown in the results.
Well, let's take you back to Qatar when it all started for you properly this year. You know, Max Nagel, obviously all the talk was about Tony Cairoli and Ryan Villapoto. Nobody expected Max or anybody else to have a say in it, but, you know, it's all almost like Max arrived without the invitation, crashed the party, and, you know, suddenly he's walking away with the championship leader's red plate. You must have been over the moon for that first round in Qatar.
Yeah, definitely it is like, you know, when you go 1-1 and even when you win a GP, you know, it's. I told after Argentina, Max was asking a question that Antti, are you surprised how well it goes now with me and with the team? And I told told that of course, you know, that you win, you know, it's always a surprise and welcome surprise. But I told to Max that I would be surprised if you are not being on a podium and successful, because all the work he is putting in, all the commitment, you know, and all the professional attitude he has, and also on the background what the team does, you know, I would be more surprised if we are not successful, you know. But the actual win is always a surprise.
Of course, that was also a very significant victory for Husqvarna. You know, since you guys have kind of taken over the factory representation for them, I mean, that must be like a nice milestone, not only for the team but for the brand.
It is for Husky, you know, Husqvarna. It was a great victory in MXGP and for the team and for everyone, and they deserve a big piece of it. That's the fact, you know. The Husqvarna Motorsport and our team, we work very, very well together, and they do lots of work for us, you know, and this is, you know, it's a perfect match as well.
Would you say that Max is probably in his best form ever? He's had 8 motos inside the top 3. The only exception, of course, was Thailand, you know, 4th and 11th or whatever the results were there. Yeah. But would you agree with that he's possibly riding better than he's ever done before?
I agree. I have followed Max actually since my career, even when I was racing myself, and now as a team manager, and he was always a guy that I was following how he is doing, because I like it, his style, you know. It's serious, you know. It's visible that it's a professional style how he does things, and definitely, you know, I was always following that it would be great to have him on our team, and now the opportunity came, and now he's really shining, and I agree. I think he is the best he has been so far.
But then, like, you know, one of the nice things about the IceOne team, Paul, is that, you know, they're unique with their team owner, of course. But then, you know, you have a very charismatic second rider, Todd Waters, second rider, you know, a rider alongside Max Nagel. You know, he's still learning Grand Prix, you know, after the injury last year. We missed him quite a lot of 2014. And then third rider, young Brett Nathan Watson, 20 years old, also running full factory air, shock and front suspension. I mean, you've got a real kind of mix there, Antti, to look after. It's nice you got the guy winning races, the guy learning even more, and also experimenting.
Yeah, it is like our approach as well, you know. First of all, we, you know, the team and Husqvarna factory, you know, we need to have a rider who is battling for the podiums and for the wins, and with Max we have that. But we have also Todd Waters that we try to build to become better and better, and he is actually doing well, you know. He is top 10 in a championship, and we cannot expect more. Last year was his rookie season, but he had the injury, so he missed his rookie season, and now he's riding that. So it's all the time a learning process. Like this Talavera track is as well new for him. So he is actually doing well because everything is new for him.
And obviously from Max's side, going back to Max, the championship leader, of course, 3 Grand Prix victories, you know, in the first 4 rounds. Which of those Grand Prix victories meant more to you? You know, which did you feel, I don't know, like the first one obviously was probably special because 2 wins, but then he rode all really, really well in Argentina. He rode really well also in the second race in Trentino. Which was your personal favourite?
All. Yeah. You know, basically. But if I need to select one, I think it was definitely Argentina, you know, to be honest, because it's a high pressure for the team and for me as well, you know, the overseas, it's the preparation must be so good, all the traveling, all the extra heavy work, let's say, like what you do on the background, and then you walk away with the victory, you know, then it's just giving that extra great feeling, and especially, you know, when the overall the overseas event goes well, you know, everything was working, bikes were working, we had enough parts there and everything, so that was let's say like a relief, you know, that everything went so well.
I mean, we're almost out of time, but my thought on Trentino was, obviously with the conditions, it was a very difficult track, very gnarly. And in the press conference after the GP, he said actually he took a lot of risks in the early laps in that second race to make a gap so that he could, you know, ride a good pace. Tells you something about him, doesn't it? This year, you know, he's more fired up, he's more aggressive. You know, normally he wouldn't take so many risks, but on that day, when everyone else was a little bit more conservative,
he went for it.
He was the one that went for it.
Yeah, it was amazing, to be honest. You know, that Arco, more or less all the top guys are on the same pace, and it's really small gaps, and then Max is pulling away. You know, second moto, the biggest lead was 17 seconds, so of course. It was amazing, and but I think, you know, when he took a risk, you know, he's experienced enough to take the calculated risk that he felt good, so he was able to do the risk, and that definitely paid off.
And finally, before we do leave, obviously Kimi Räikkönen is the team owner. We saw him in Valkenswaard, and it was the day that Max Nagel regained the red plate, took the championship lead. For somebody who we see from the outside as being so laid back and so you know, relaxed, I guess, from Kimi, he must be feeling pretty excited at the moment. Is it difficult to keep his feet on the ground, really?
No, we are still from Finland, so
yeah.
No, but it's you know, he puts a lot of heart in our team, you know, and to be honest, he has become also rather good expert in a MXGP world. You know, he follows it so intense, and all the riders, all the lap times, everything. So he can even give a really good advice, and I share a lot of ideas and things with him. So, but definitely he's happy. Max took the red plate back, you know, and that was the best moment, of course, that he was there, and especially after the last year, you know, we had a major struggle with the rider injuries, and he didn't ever lose the belief to me or to team, you know, and he was all the time 100% backing us. So it's really great to show him now that we are doing a good work, and we are well on the way to be even better on the top.
All right. Well, great to hear your thoughts, and of course, you know, Max Nagel leading the championship, 5 points coming into this sixth round here at Talavera, the MXGP of Spain. Well, thank you to all my guests today. Of course, Adam Wheeler, as always, Antti Pyrhönen, the team manager from Red Bull, IceOne, Husqvarna Factory Racing. We had Evgeny Bobryshev from Team HRC, and also Max Anstie from Monster Energy DRT Kawasaki. Well, the sixth round is just around the corner. We hope you can join us live on race day for all the action as it unfolds here. There's could be one or two stings in the tail. Obviously, Max Nagel will be looking to extend his lead. Clement de Sal will be looking to take his first Grand Prix victory of the season. So too will Tony Cairoli on a 450 this weekend, no less. And Gauthier Paulin will be looking to make it another Honda victory as well. We hope you can join us tomorrow. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time when we go to Matterley Basin in 2 weeks. See you then. Bye for now.